What happens when you find out that a parent or loved one has been given a diagnosis such as dementia or needs ongoing care, and they need to take care of this while they are living at home? This seems overwhelming. Who can help me? I'm Mark Schmidt with Home Care Assistance of Tucson. I'm here with real estate agent Emily Erickson, who is here to help me answer this question. Emily, thank you for joining me here today.
My pleasure, Mark. Happy to be here.
Emily, there is a reason I asked you to be my guest today. Can you share why you are specifically qualified to answer this question?
Absolutely, Mark. So I've been in the Tucson area for the past 10 years, and for the past 8 years, I have been a real estate agent with an SRS certification, meaning a senior real estate specialist. And during the certification process, as well as the many transactions I've done since having this, is to help seniors and their families find that common ground and to make those decisions before things get to a point where we are going, what the heck, what do I do?
So Emily, knowing that we're here in the Tucson area, Tucson tends to be a magnet for retirees, people coming from other parts of the country to live out their golden years here in the area. How does that affect us, and how does that affect the families when they are dealing with a situation where their loved one is here, but they may not be in a situation where they can stay safe and independent in their home any longer?
Sure. Well, I have a perfect story right now that's happening. So this afternoon I'm picking up keys from Steve and Patricia and their daughter. And the reason being is I met their daughter 5 years ago in a patio eating dinner. And we started talking, and their parents were doing fine. And then every year we kind of talk to the daughter and talk to the parents and keep getting to, put tabs on people and see how things are going. And this past year, Laura's been down 3 times. And this last time, Dad went to take Mom to the hospital, and Dad got lost for 2 hours parking his car. And so we now know it's time to get things going a little bit faster. And so they've asked me to list the house. I'm helping them find the estate sale company to release all the assets, and then also the repairs and getting the house ready to go. And they live in Colorado, so they're taking Mom and Dad to Colorado tomorrow. And so everything else will be taken care of by me because we have those things in place, and we've been planning for those things for the past 5 years.
So in a situation like this, you become a great asset for the family that is out of town because you're like an inside person here in the Tucson area that can take care of everything while they're either in Colorado or wherever they may be at that time.
Yeah, and if they have an issue, they call me and say, hey, can you go check on Mom and Dad? Or can you help them with a handyman? Or can you help them with home care assistance? And I've given those referrals so that during this time, they've had some boots on the ground when they can't be here.
Excellent. Do you have any other tips when you're working with clients that are dealing with long-term chronic illnesses or dementias or things like that, ways that the family can be prepared or proactive in this nature?
The conversations need to happen sooner than they think. No one wants to ask these questions when Mom and Dad are healthy, quality life is great, but having that plan in place and having those people in place, the estate planning attorney, the realtor, having those handymen, home care assistants on hand and having those numbers available and having talked through when this happens, this is when this goes into play. When this happens, this goes into play. Because Mom and Dad may not remember it depending on what is ailing them at that time and what their quality of life is like. And so when the kids need to start making the decisions because they have the power of attorney and medical power of attorney, it makes it a lot easier when the game plan has been set.
And nobody likes a situation when things go into probate or attorneys are involved and things like that. That always makes things more difficult. But you're equipped to deal with those situations if that comes up. And again, you're able to deal with people across state lines if they are needing not to be at the situations dealing with the attorneys here in Tucson. Do you find a situation or do you find it a situation that you are often dealing with attorneys here in this time period?
The ones that I find that are probably the more complicated ones are when it is a probate situation, when there wasn't a will in place. And I had a client who was referred to me from Virginia. Never met the person, never had to sign anything in person. Everything was done online. But we were able to build that rapport through phone calls, Zoom conversations, and things like that so that we could take the house that mom left in probate with all of her stuff and be able to get it sold, get everything else donated, and have a pretty smooth selling process so that probate could be closed and funds could be distributed to the families.
Well, it sounds like one way to avoid the complications is the early conversations, and planning ahead of time makes a big difference. Emily, when we're dealing with someone, like if I had a loved one that has a dementia or one of these chronic situations going on, and they may be even in town, and the family in town, or the family's out of town, can you speak to why it's so important or to deal with someone with your certification, or can any realtor help them, or can anybody just sell by home and have the same situation?
Any realtor can sell a home. But what I do that is specifically different in this situation is I have the knowledge and certifications to really help the senior aging parent. And I have the knowledge and the resources to be able to match that family with the right attorney if needed. Or I can make sure that the parent is of sound mind. Not that I would say they're of sound mind, but I can make sure that they get to the right person to say they are of sound mind, so that we're making decisions with the parent or with the children that may need to be taking care of the situation if something is off. I can be the advocate for that parent if that parent really is of sound mind and is fighting off those children trying to say, no, I want to do something this way. I also have resources to help me in those situations, which is, not always the most comfortable situations and conversations to have. And I've been coached how to negotiate when there is conflict. And so not all agents have that conflict resolution ability to be able to do that.
Excellent. So Emily, can you tell me about what is beneficial, or maybe some tips that help the family maintain the value of the home if they think that their loved one is in a condition where they may not be keeping their eye on the asset itself, or situations may have arisen that is getting beyond their ability? What types of things that could you suggest that might help in a situation like that?
There's quite a few things you can do. So one, you need to make sure that you're not just visiting family on these planned visits, because mom and dad are going to get everything looking as best as they can. But having someone in the home, not randomly, but consistently, so that are they eating? Do they take their meds? Is the house in shambles? What do the floors look like? What do the kitchens and baths look like? Not that you're investigating every time you're going over, but is the house maintained? And when it's starting to not be maintained, are they being able to get access to handymen, or get access to a plumber to fix a leak, or a roofer that needs to? Because when the house gets to a certain point, you then come to the point of, is it sellable, or do we have to find the investor or the rehabber to do it? As part of the brokerage I belong to, we have a Revitalize program that we can actually do a lot of the repairs and have that paid at closing. And so we don't have to take it out of, maybe there is money, maybe there isn't money. But the house itself is the asset. And so we do need to make sure that we keep that looking as good as we can for as long as we can, and having those conversations with parents, to make sure that, to check in with them and seeing where they are. So we have home care assistants, obviously, that has people that can come in and do some home care. And then just having those people, did the pool person stop coming? Did the pest control company stop coming? Where are the bills and things like that? So having those conversations, it's all about keeping the conversation going with mom and dad. And then if mom and dad have stopped remembering those conversations, those are other key things that we can focus in on, knowing that they need more help.
Excellent. And can I ask you, do you see, maybe not a pattern, or how often that you might see here in the Tucson market where families utilize the sale of the home to help pay for ongoing care or future care for their loved ones?
I would say it's probably 90% of those who need to go into an extended care are using the funds from their home. Okay. They really need those funds. They may be able to start that process, but they will need those funds to stay there long term.
Okay.
Yes.
Emily, you've been an absolute wealth of information. Thank you for sharing your time and your information with us today. And if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to have a discussion about their home or a situation coming up in their family, how is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Phone, text, or email. My information will be below in the comments, and we can set up that Zoom conversation if you are out of state, or I can come and do an easy presentation inside your home, and no questions and nothing final.
Great. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I'm Mark Schmidt with Home Care Assistance of Tucson, where we're changing the way Tucson ages and providing quality of life with our balanced care method. Thank you, and we'd be honored to help you any way that we can.